my loves, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I am going to be doing a two-part video, and in this video I'm going to talk about what I truly dislike about being a nurse. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Now, the first thing I really dislike about nursing is that true statement they make that nurses or older nurses eat their young, or nurses in general eat their young, which is completely true. I know that I've experienced it not only as a brand new LPN, but I have also experienced it as a brand new RN. Now, when I say this statement, because I don't know how many of you guys that are following me are actually in the healthcare field, whether it's LPN, RN, or CNA, or MedTech, or whatever you may do, you might understand what I'm talking about. But for those of you who are not in the field yet, or you are interested in becoming a nurse, I don't want anything I say in this video to scare you, because at the end of the day, if something is meant for you, it's going to get to you, or you are going to get it, you are going to achieve it if that is for you. The statement that nurses eat their young is very true. For example, when I first started off as an LPN, I was roughly 19 years old. So not only am I a brand new nurse, but I'm like a baby nurse, like a true baby nurse. I thought that when I became a nurse, like it was going to be a bed of roses. I thought that like everything that you see on TV, I thought that's what nursing was about. And guess what? It was not. So my first night at work, I remember I got the medication because I got to work early, and I set up the medication cart. And then, you know, the nurse came in and she said, and I believe she was an RN. She came in and she said, "That's your side and this is my side." I was flabbergasted. I was like, okay, well, I cleaned your card up for you. And she's like, "Don't touch anything that belongs to me." I would never forget that night. And that's back then when, this is like 2006. I think it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2000. Give or take 2006. Yeah, I know my memory's just off. But it was around 2006. And I remember back then as an LPN, we would get 8 patients. So the RN would either be charge nurse or do the desk, or sometimes we didn't even have an RN on duty. So we would have to get an RN from the other side of the unit. But primarily it was mostly LPNs that were there, and we would get up to 8 patients. And I remember that I started off with 6. So I'm like, oh my God, I got 6 patients. Oh my God, tonight's going to be, fun. And then I got the first admit, and then I got another admit. And it was like nobody was trying to help me. Now, shout out to Nikisha and Jay Cherie, because they all worked with me when I worked at Killer County. And Nikisha actually worked across the hall from me. So whenever I needed help, like I would call her. And then I would also get help from Jay Cherie. It just happened that that night that I started, Nikisha and Jay Cherie was not there. Okay, I didn't meet Nikisha yet, and I actually went to LPN school with Jay Cherie, so I had already known her. And then I knew her from the Pan days, okay, because we played Pan together. But anywho, neither of them were there that night, and it was just me and 3 other nurses, and they were all older than me, and they were not even helping me. Like, I remember back then the shift used to be 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. I left work after 11, and I walked home, and I cried the whole way home. And I remember I called my mom, and I told my mom, like, "Mom, I don't think nursing is for me. This is not for me. I think I made the wrong decision. Like, I can't do this." And she gave me a pep talk, and she was like, "Honey, you can do this. That was just the first night. Dust yourself off. Go back to work." And I was telling myself the whole time, I'm never going back there. I'm not going to be a nurse. Like, this is so not for me. And then fast forward to now, I got my RN, and I'm still a banging nurse. That's why when I precept nurses or I meet nurses for the first time, I always tell them, I tell every nurse that I meet for the first time who's starting off, either at my hospital or any facility that I've ever worked at, I always tell them, "Hey, my name is Apple. If you need help with anything, don't hesitate to ask. And if I know if somebody has an admission coming in," like even to this day, I would have a coworker, they would have an admission coming in. While they're looking up their patient, I'm getting their room ready. So I'm getting the suction canister, I'm getting the leads, I'm getting everything that that person may need, because sometimes it's stressful when you get an admission, especially like at shift change, they be just slamming out with admissions. Well, I don't know for your hospital, but my hospital, we get slammed with admissions. So I make sure I do my best to help out and be a team player, because nursing should be about teamwork. The next thing I don't like about nursing is the fact that they will tell every brand new nurse, you have to start out in med-surg.
What?
Why? I understand that you do get key or core foundations learned in med-surg, but let's say from my perspective, I did start off in med-surg because I initially got hired for a psych position, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a psych nurse. I heard psych nursing is so easy, blah, 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 blah. And then Miss Tillman, who hired me, she basically told me, girl, you are going to be started off in med-surg. And med-surg was a whirlwind. But guess what? I see gunshot wound victims, I see stab wound victims, I see my diabetics, I had a lot of wound care. Like, I kind of learned a lot of skills. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, I wasn't that type of nurse. Let's say I'm a nurse that likes peds. Or let's say I'm a nurse that want to do L&D. Telling me to start off in med-surg would be like a complete turn-off. And I would think to myself, you know what? I did the wrong thing. I made the wrong decision. This isn't for me. So I think it's kind of not right for a lot of people, a lot of places to tell nurses, brand new nurses, I think you guys should be, or I think you should start off in med-surg, because that doesn't work for everyone. Because there's a lot of people at my hospital, guess what? If you want a specific floor, stick to your guns. Because it had brand new nurses in my orientation class when I started, brand new nurses with no kind of healthcare experience that got hired in L&D, that got hired in ICU, they got hired in the OR. So I don't want you to think that you have to start off in med-surg, because you necessarily do not have to start off in med-surg. If you feel like med-surg would be a good learning tool, then by all means, jump into med-surg. The third thing I do not like about nursing is the politics. All I want to do is take care of my patients. That's all I want to do. I want to get to work. I want to see my coworkers. I want to find out who my patients are, and I want to take care of my patients. You see the constant moving around of patients, because I understand how the whole logistics work of the hospital, okay? For example, and I'm not talking about my current hospital. For example, if the ER have admits, and let's say they're trying to find beds for these patients because these patients have to go somewhere. I don't like when I get a phone call telling me, yeah, I need you to move somebody out because we got to make room for the patients in the ER. These are human beings. These are people. We cannot be shuffling them around like they're just like a number or they're nothing. Like, these are human beings. I do not like that. I don't like this whole, you have to do the whole census and figure out how much nurses for each patient, and if the census reaches this kind of percentage, that means you're not at your highest performance, so a nurse gotta go home or a tech gotta go home. Like, what? I cannot stand that. I don't care about the paperwork. I don't care about all of that stuff. Let me take care of my patients. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys are probably in management nursing, and that's what you guys do. You guys are the one that's calling me and harassing me about moving patients out or who do I want to send to another floor. But guess what? At the end of the day, my job is to make sure that my patients are safe. I have to make sure that the staff that I work with is safe, so we can have a copacetic night that we can all go home, and we can make sure that our patients get to go home to their families also. The fourth thing I don't like about nursing. You see this analogy that people think that LPNs are not nurses?
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus! Hiya! Hello!
That blows my mind. Like, LPNs sit aboard also, just like RNs. So the fifth thing I do not like about nursing is the fact that this whole nursing burnout, okay? Because nursing burnout is real. Nurses go through so much physical stress, emotional stress, psychological stress. I can't stress enough like how stressful this job is. So it's really hard to provide that care we have to provide for our patients when we are working under stressful, not only a stressful environment, but you have some toxic things that can be going on at work. Like, things can be really draining to you. And you know, sometimes I like to chalk it up to this, right? So when I'm burnt out, I do self-scheduling. And I like the fact that I will do my self-scheduling in a way that I will have 6 days off. Because I need those 6 days off to breathe, to get my mental health together, to see my kids, spend time with my family, and I go right back into work. And the fact that people love to think that we make so much, like, we make so much money. We are millionaires. Nurses are millionaires.
Why you always lying? Oh my God.
That's a lie, okay? That is a goddamn lie. I don't think that nurses get paid what they should get paid, okay? Because of things that we go through on a daily basis. It's kind of important for you to establish healthy relationships with other nurses, because they understand the struggle. We understand the struggle. So it's easier to talk to them than to talk to a family member. Because if I'm looking to talk to my husband, he doesn't understand. He would not understand. And I think a lot of nurses are going through burnout because we have nobody to talk to. Let's forget about the other stuff, because we are all going to have hard days at work. Regardless if you're working in construction, you're working at the bank, we're all going to have stressful days at work. But it's important not to keep those feelings inside and bottled up, because we are human. We're going to get to a breaking point. Yeah, I don't want to keep rambling on and on, but those are the top 5 things I truly dislike about nursing and being a nurse. Okay? I hope you guys found this video to be very interesting and also helpful. That was so cheesy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay blessed, stay prayed up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye, my loves.